Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is brought to you in part by Tom's Place, the finest in men's fashion, located in Toronto at 190 Baldwin Street, in the heart of Kensington Market. Or visit toms-place.com. Hello and welcome to our 300th episode celebration of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. In this hour, we will relive some of the funniest moments from the last 300 episodes. Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy launched on September 5th, 2019. 6 years and over 7,500 useless facts later, here we are. Although the world is constantly changing, the one thing that didn't change was an appetite for useless information. Here is how it all began. The pilot episode, 300 episodes ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your pilot speaking. We're traveling at 30,000 feet, and it's time for the Totally Useless Information podcast, the pilot episode. Who's flying the plane? Is anyone flying the plane? Who's flying the plane?
Fasten your seatbelts as we are your in-flight entertainment. Sit back, relax, and be amazed at how much useless information is out there.
How many pounds of skin will a human being shed in their lifetime?
The best remedy after being stung by a jellyfish is what? I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy, and we go out of our way to scour the internet for totally useless information
We really don't need. So join us on this journey as we find out together more useless information out there in this.
totally useless information. It's everything you never needed to know. By listening once a week, you'll get smarter than you think. The Totally Useless Information Podcast, hosted by Nick and Roy.
Well, hello there, and yes, welcome to the pilot episode of the Totally Useless Information Podcast. Hello, my friend Roy. How are you?
Welcome from beautiful, sunny, orange-laden Florida.
Welcome from beautiful Toronto. We have oranges up here, too.
Yes, yes, you do, but you get them from us. But listen, folks, we're 1,500 miles away. We've been friends for how many years, Nick?
Over 40 years and counting. 40.
Right. So 40 years we've been friends. We met in high school. Nick used to live in the United States. He moved to Canada in 1990.
1990, yeah.
Wow.
Way back when. Awesome. So here we are, 1,500 miles apart, and we've been doing this podcasting since, well, we first met. But podcasts weren't invented back then, so we finally started to record them. And here we are for you, to give you totally useless information. So, like we said, sit back, relax. You'll be amazed at how much information's out there, and we are here for you.
Well, if Al Gore invented the internet, then we invented the damn podcast.
That's right. Absolutely. So, let's kick it off right away.
Animals, 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 crazy animals.
You're going to find some amazing jingles. The budget was set way, way high.
Nick introduced us to a remedy that might be helpful if someone is stung by a jellyfish. Get ready for it.
True or false? If you are stung by a jellyfish, this is my teaser. If you're stung by a jellyfish, the best remedy is to pee on it. True or false?
I hope not. I would say true, because I've heard that people do that.
The answer is false. No, not only is this not an effective treatment, but scientists have found it can worsen the sting, so don't do it. According to the Cleveland Clinic, the proper way to treat a jellyfish sting is with hot water, not urine.
So you're at the beach, somebody says, I got stung by a jellyfish. You run over, you pull your bathing suit down, and you start to urinate on them. Why?
No.
Why? Why would anyone do that? I would punch them.
You're in for a real rude awakening.
Okay, well, being that you were talking about urine, what animal has the largest penis in the animal kingdom? What a segue.
It's an amazing segue. Thank you for that. What animal? I would say that I would guess. I don't know if everyone out there would guess the same as me. What do you think, guys? What do you think, huh? Studio audience? Yes, do you all agree? The horse.
The horse. Well,
Although the horse has a rather hefty Schwarzenegger, the actual largest penis in the animal kingdom, considered by size, the barnacle, the thing that hooks onto your bottom of your boat, is apparently hooking on with something else. He has the largest penis in the animal kingdom, the barnacle.
My boat or yours?
Here are a couple of weird laws that are still active today.
Did you know that in Kentucky it is illegal? You can get arrested for holding an ice cream cone in your back pocket.
You got to be kidding me.
Why? Why would you want to take the ice cream cone and put it in your back pocket?
I don't know.
It's not like something that's easily toteable around. It's a hard enough time to eat the thing without it getting all over you. Nevertheless, sticking it into one of your pockets.
I could not even understand this part. So let's say you're going to pick up some ice cream for 3 or 4 of your friends.
Right.
You don't have any place to, how many ice cream cones can you hold in one hand? So you start putting them in your pocket.
Right.
And maybe someone complained in Kentucky, because all it takes is one complaint. The next thing you know, they've banned back pocket ice cream cones.
Tell you what happened. They probably had the ice cream cone in their back pocket, sat on a seat. Somebody else sat on the seat, got ice cream on their pants, and said, "Son of a, you know what?
No, son of a gun.
Son of a sea cook, I got ice cream on my pants."
In Texas, it is illegal to put graffiti on someone else's cow.
Yeah, that happens a lot in Texas. Yeah.
Like, what's your tag?
Nick's trying to give you some street cred here. He's trying.
I'm telling you right now, I'm wearing my jeans halfway down my hips. Yeah, I have street creds, man. You know my favorite rapper?
Is what?
The classical musical rapper, Yo-Yo Mama.
Yeah. But the screwed up part is he forgot to put underwear on.
There's an expression we need to find out. When you go commando,
Yeah.
where did that come from? All right, we'll find that out in the podcast.
Find out, and I never want to see it.
Baby robins eat 14 feet of earthworms every day.
Hold on, wait a minute. What happened with the graffiti and cows? What was the story there?
It's illegal. I told you already. In Texas, it's illegal to put graffiti on someone else's cow. It's a law.
Okay.
Do you need anything else? Like,
Oh,
that's all you need to know.
I need nothing else after that.
Baby robins eat 14 feet of earthworms every day. And if you're in Texas, don't put graffiti on someone else's cow.
No.
Nick talked about the many uses of the kids' toy, Slinky.
Do you remember the Slinky as a kid?
Oh, yes. In fact, it was, what was the commercial going down the stairs?
What walks downstairs
This
alone
one.
or in pairs and makes a slinkety sound. A spring, a marvelous thing. Everyone knows it's
All
Slinky.
together now.
It's Slinky, it's Slinky. For fun, it's a wonderful toy. There's Slinkies, there's Slinkies. They're fun for girls and boys.
Girls and boys.
Girls.
Slinky. For girls and boys. That was a pretty catchy jingle for the day. Slinky was an excellent squirrel deterrent for bird feeders.
Ooh.
When mounted on the pole of the bird feeder, it stops the squirrels from climbing up the pole. So the squirrel will try to go up and the Slinky will come back down,
Yeah.
and the squirrel would not get to the bird feed.
It is for girls and boys because I met a girl one time who wore a Slinky negligee.
Not Slinky. Invented in 1943, moving on, it was used in the Vietnam War.
The Slinky
Yep.
or the negligee?
No. No.
It was worn by the
Well,
enemy. Oh, GI. He love you long time.
Long time. It was used in the Vietnam War, the Slinky was, as an impromptu radio antenna. It received a frequency of 7 to 8 megahertz, and soldiers clipped on one end of the Slinky to the radio, and the other end was sent up a tree. It was
Oh.
lightweight,
Awesome.
and it received a really clear
What
signal.
walks downstairs alone or in pairs and makes a slinkety sound. A spring, a marvelous thing. Everyone knows it's Slinky, it's Slinky, it's Slinky. For fun, it's a wonderful toy. There's Slinkies, there's Slinkies. They're fun for girls and boys.
When it comes to the topic of useless sports information, here's one that may linger after you hear it.
It's the professional finger pulling competition. So the finger pulling is no laughing matter in the Alps, okay? This is no laughing matter. Finger wrestling was once used to settle disputes, but it's now a competition that is taken quite seriously by the contenders. The winner is the person who manages to pull the other contestant's finger across the table using only his or her finger, as I said. Contenders pick their digit carefully and subject it to rigorous training involving crushing tennis balls and doing one-finger pull-ups. Professional, not amateur, these are professional finger-pulling competitors in the Alps. It's like, pull my finger.
In the Alps, if you say, pull my finger, because it would echo.
Useless information about animals was also discussed on the show. Nick found something giggle-worthy about chimps and their drinking habits.
Speaking of going to the zoo, sometimes you'll see some chimps. And sometimes you'll see those chimps drinking fermented tree sap. Scientists are studying these chimpanzees in Guinea, and they've seen evidence of long-term and recurrent ingestion of ethanol. There was a 17-year study recording chimps, and they're using the leaves to these plants to drink the fermented. The 17-year study recorded.
I think you drank it.
Yes. Yes, I was visiting the chimp cage before I started the show today. The 17-year study recorded chimps using leaves to drink fermented palm sap. Some drank high enough alcohol to produce what they called visible signs of inebriation.
Yeah, they get whatchamacalls SUIs, which is swinging under the influence.
That's right.
It took me a couple of seconds to put that together.
It's okay. Yes,
I think I had a little bit of that juice myself.
I think they are swingers.
When we come back, more highlights as we celebrate 300 episodes of totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Welcome back to a celebration of 300 episodes of totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn. Nick and Roy can be heard in over 90 countries around the world and on the iHeartRadio Talk Network, coast to coast to coast in Canada, like CJAD 800 in Montreal, CFRA in Ottawa, News Talk 1010 in Toronto, CKLW 800 in Windsor, and on CFAX in Victoria, BC. Nick and Roy discovered a peculiar name in Canada. It was the revelation that there is a town named Dildo in Newfoundland.
There's a turkey point in southwestern Ontario named for the abundance of wild turkeys in the area. And the U.S. may have more places than Turkey, but we in Canada have a Dildo, Newfoundland. We also have a...
Stop. No. Dildo, Newfoundland. Why? Why would anybody want to live in Dildo, Newfoundland? What are they,
We also have a head smashed in Buffalo Jump in Alberta.
Okay, I'd rather live in Head Smashed than tell somebody, where do you live? I live in Dildo. I love Dildo.
Better yet, where would you stay when you go there?
Yeah, you'd stay at the Dildo Inn. Where'd you go? Dildo High. Dildo High School.
On that note, on that wild note,
yeah,
we have to go.
I lived on Dong Street in the town of Dildo. Oh my God. What the hell's going on with Canadians? There's so many words in the English language. You could have picked a French one. Head smashed. It's okay. But dildo? I don't know.
One of the many interesting inventions discovered by Nick and Roy are raspberry-smelling jeans.
Weird Guy scratch and sniff raspberry scented jeans are made by clothing manufacturer Naked and Famous Denim. The Canadian brand boasts of using only raw denim manufactured at a traditional mill in Japan, so you can be assured of quality. For the Weird Guy jeans, raspberry perfume was coated all over the denim and then baked into them. The perfume contains millions upon millions of tiny micro scent capsules that break when you scratch on the surface of the jeans, like a scratch and sniff, releasing the yummy raspberry fragrance. Naked and Famous claims that the scent can last up to 5 washes, and if you wash your jeans just once every 3 months, they'll stand on their own. No, if you
Who the hell doesn't wash their jeans? Okay, let me just, I'm all over this one. Okay, first off, do Canadians not wash their jeans but for every 3 months? Okay. But then the most upsetting thing of all is the guy's a Canadian. He invents the jeans. And then he says, so that we can get some good quality, we sent it off to Japan to be made because we can't make them here in Canada. Oh, my God.
What if you were told by your employer that you had to wear their underwear under your uniform? That's exactly what happened to Disney employees.
Up until 2001, Disney employees were not allowed to wear their own underwear under their costumes. They had to share Disney-issued undergarments. So what were they, Mickey Mouse? Like, here are grown people wearing Mickey Mouse underwear. But after several employees complained, and they complained because they got pubic lice and reported stained undies, the company changed their policy.
Oh, no, especially being that they didn't make those Disney underwear in anything but youth sizes. So for someone like me, that would be really heartbreaking to put them on. It'd be like a nasty Speedo.
At first, I thought it said public lice. What, there's private lice?
Listen, there's no room for me, nevertheless, the pubic lice. This show just went off the rails.
Geography is one of the many topics on the show.
I think this is a place where you and I, Roy, can retire. It's a place called Disappointment Island.
Story of our lives.
Exactly. I think our names and our plaques are right outside the island. Disappointment Island is an uninhabited island in New Zealand, although there are 65,000 pairs of white-capped albatross who live there. In 1868, a steel tanker crashed on the island, which killed 68 people, leaving the 15 survivors waiting 18 months to be rescued. And in 1907, another ship ended up crashing there, and 12 men drowned. So, note to self, do not go anywhere near Disappointed Island. You'll be disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. Not much to see there. Wow, Disappointment Island. You know, Nick, you keep coming up with those stories. I think I'm going to retire our friendship.
Well, for the time being, you're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
In this highlight, a government official hid stolen money in an unusual place. This is part of the feature, News from Around the World.
A key ally in Brazil's president has been arrested after anti-corruption officers discovered a wad of banknotes in his underpants. Police initially found 10,000 reais, around 1,700. That's what they're called, reais. Sorry, reais. The $1,750 U.S. they found in a safe. He then asked the cops if he can go to the bathroom, and according to the police report, an officer noticed a large rectangular bulge under the senator's shorts as he walked away.
Could you imagine him going through? Here's some American money. Here's some Rias. What's this tube steak in here?
So,
oh, I'm sorry. That's connected.
So he went. They realized this rectangular bulge. Found inside his underwear near his buttocks, according to the report, were stacks of money that totaled around $2,600 U.S. When asked whether he had any additional cash stowed in his underpants, the senator angrily shoved his hands into his underwear to retrieve more stacks of bills totaling $3,100 U.S. or $17,000.
So the money was stuck behind his buttocks.
Behind and in between. A subsequent search, there's more.
Not only 3 times, a subsequent search turned up another 250 reasses for another $43.
What did he say to them? Did he say, "I have a life of crime, but it's behind me"? My God, his butt looked at the big wad of money and said, "The buck stops here." You can't make this stuff up.
One of the more popular topics that Nick and Roy present is horror movies. Nick gathered some of the worst horror movies ever.
This film came out in 1992, and it was called Axum.
Never heard of it.
No, someone who asked for directions. No, that's not it. A weekend.
Is it Axemen?
Axum, like axe them. Axum. Yeah. Axum a question. A weekend. This is a description of one of the worst horror movies of all time. A weekend retreat at a remote cabin in the woods for a group of childhood pals turned into a terrifying fight for survival as a former friend whose family was killed years earlier comes back looking for revenge. Yes. Another one is Dead at the Box Office in 2005. After finding a mysterious film reel hidden in their ceiling, the well-meaning staff of a struggling movie theater assume that the film is an old B-movie preview trailer, and they would play it before a midnight screening of a timeless George A. Romero masterpiece,
Night of the Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, and that's George Romero. That's a great horror.
And what happens to these people after they find this reel of film? You don't want to know. It's really bad. Meat Cleaver Massacre. In 1976, it was a popular year for
wow, 1976 was the year of the horror.
It was.
Meat Cleaver what?
Massacre.
Meat Cleaver Massacre.
When a professor specializing in ancient rites and rituals is attacked and his family killed by 4 of his students, he summons an evil spirit to hunt down the attackers and avenge his family.
Stick around. There's more to come as we celebrate 300 episodes of totally useless information with Nick and Roy.
It's time to gear up for fall with cool fashions, cooler weather, and a very cool Kensington market. Hello, this is Cool Nick and Cool Roy for Tom's Place.
I like the way you did that.
That's right. Where the cool guys in Toronto shop.
So check out the latest fall fashions that have just arrived. And hey, it's Tom's Place. So even the new arrivals are on sale. Fall colors, new patterns, fresh designs. So check out the fabulous collection of designer suits, regularly $650. For our listeners of the radio show and the podcast, $375. You heard it right there, slashed to $375.
Wow. Pick out a couple of sports jackets while you're at it. Dress up for the office or down for the weekend, or a wool top coat for 50% off on our first floor.
Play it cool at Tom's Place like we do at Tom's Place, 190 Baldwin Street in Kensington Market. Visit Tom's at toms-place.com. That's TOMS-place.com.
Don't miss the Kensington Market Jazz Festival, September 19th, 20th, and 21st in venues throughout Kensington, including Tom's Place. For the complete lineup, see kensingtonjazz.com. That's kensingtonjazz.com. Tom's Place. They'll suit you.
Welcome back to a celebration of 300 episodes of totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn. Nick and Roy have an amazing product. Special birthday and anniversary messages for your loved ones.
Now, we get a lot of mail, folks, but honestly, most of the mail that we get has to do with either the birthday message recipient or people that heard the birthday message. If we get 100 emails, honestly, 40, 50 of them are about the birthday messages. And it's because it's such an amazing gift. It's reasonable. It's very inexpensive. Mm-hmm. And we do a mini show for the date that person was born or an anniversary date. We do a show about what was happening on that date. Useless information. And we do a whole mini show. Go to nickandroy.com. Go to the Nick and Roy store. Click on birthday message. You'll see there's a sample. Hit the sample. You'll get to hear one. It's phenomenal. It's one of the best gifts that you'll ever give to somebody, especially somebody that you say has everything. They don't have this.
Here's an email that I got from somebody who just did recently. She says, "Thank you, gentlemen!" Exclamation.
She doesn't know us.
Very funny. She says, very funny, interesting, and lovely to hear my husband's own voice at the end of it. So we give you the opportunity to record a personalized message that we include in there. So go to nickroy.com.
It's really great. We have the grandkids sometimes leave a little message. It's so great, folks. Do it. Do it.
She says, a birthday blessing indeed. nickandroy.com.
Speaking of birthdays, a Florida man has been labeled as the birthday suit bandit by deputies after they said he tried to break into a woman's home completely naked.
Matthew.
Break in while naked.
That's right. He broke in while he was naked. Matthew Hunter, 63, of Palm Coast, was arrested.
63.
63 years old. He's an old man. Older.
An older man.
Yeah, with lots of wrinkles. Was arrested on charges of attempted burglary, criminal mischief, and exposure of sex organs.
Oh, yeah. Down here in Florida, we spell it right out.
Right. Exactly. And it's because spelling does count. Now,
Did he think he was in Machashadaruki doing a festival?
We're not. No, it didn't say where he thought he was. But on Saturday, April 26th, shortly after midnight, so not too long ago, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office received a 911 call about a nude man, later identified, of course, as Matthew Hunter. He was trying to break into a residence in Palm Coast.
What was he using to pry the door open, Nick?
Doesn't say if he was using a credit card or not. The woman inside the home called... Oh, man. There's the visual right there. What did he use to pry the door open?
911 and said, "There's a sausage sticking through my door."
The woman inside called 911. She heard what sounded like a knife. Ah, here we go. Here's how we found out how he did it. No, it wasn't.
Knifing it.
Yeah. He was using. She said she heard what sounded like a knife trying to cut through the lock of her front door. So he went through.
Said, "What do you want from me? I'm just circumcising the door."
When the deputies arrived, they found Hunter walking away from the woman's house completely naked, just as she described.
He didn't get dressed back up again. He left the scene the way,
Yeah, he did. Yeah, right. He left the scene the way he entered the scene. They also discovered gouge marks on the door. I was wondering where they found
the gouge marks. I was gonna say, did he actually get in? Did he,
I wanted to find out where the gouge marks are, but apparently
gives new meaning to the word I was trying to get in.
Right. So the authorities discovered gouge marks on the door frame and molding, not on the suspect. Yeah. So let's dig a little deeper.
That's what we're calling it now,
yes.
The old door frame.
That's right. The what do they call him? The birthday suit bandit. So let's dig a little deeper.
Birthday suit bandit.
That's right. Let's dig a little.
Richard Buff.
Right.
Is his name.
Take Buff. Or Buff Richard.
Only in Florida, folks, the 63-year-old men walk around naked. Well, you think it was the villages.
Well, listen, you thought because it's so hot down there, probably. Maybe he just, in the meantime, let's just dig a little deeper into the story. According to the arrest report...
I figured you would.
According to the arrest report, Hunter is the woman's neighbor. The affidavit states the woman saw Hunter through her front window as he yelled that he was going to come inside the home and demanded that she open the door.
So she actually knew him.
Well,
hopefully her peephole was high up.
Her what?
Not low down,
right.
Because that's got to be Joe from next door.
Her peephole. Okay.
I didn't know Joe had a pet snake.
Deputies later spoke to Hunter's wife at their home.
Wait a minute. Hunter has a wife?
See, he has a wife, and so when...
Not anymore.
Well, at the time of the arrest, so deputies spoke to his wife, who said that her husband had been drinking heavily.
Oh. Yeah. Right.
She admitted she was afraid of him, but had no idea he had left their home, as she had been asleep.
Well, if in doubt, guys, always blame it on the booze.
Right.
Okay?
Well, there you go.
You were with that woman. I don't remember a thing. Yes. Where were your clothes? Nah.
I have no idea. In fact, if you find them, let me know. The court record...
I was with a friend, Jack Daniels. Johnny Walker.
Jack and Johnny Walker and Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
The court record showed that he's expected to appear in court later in the month of May. Hopefully, he'll wear some clothes at the arraignment.
So they arrest this man,
Yes.
much to the shock of his wife, who says that he was inebriated,
Right.
and then he takes his clothes off and goes next door.
Right.
Did he say why?
All he said was he was yelling and saying, "Let me in," basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, after so many years of marriage, you begin to form these pleas
Yes.
for it. You're like, please let me in.
Nick and Roy covered an invention by Buck Weimer for a U.S. underwear manufacturer. Their claim was that the undergarment can neutralize your air biscuits.
Have you heard of Shreddies before?
No.
This is going to help millions and millions of peoples on the planet. Shreddies claim to neutralize the smell of flatulence. The filter, okay, to filter the flatulence's effects, the underwear's airtight fabric is sealed with elastic around the waistband and legs. If you want to buy, yes. If you want, now how does it work? Hold on, wait a minute.
Nick,
I'll tell you how it works. What?
Go ahead. I was going to say, is this how the guy found out about the balloon? He blew his pants up and floated away.
No, it would have been helpful. How does it work? Well, Shreddies flatulence filtering garments feature an activated carbon back panel and absorbs all of the flatulence odors. Due to its highly porous nature, the odors become trapped and neutralized by the cloth, which is then reactivated by simply washing the garment. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to buy a pair, or perhaps a pair for your significant stinky other, you can visit their store, myshreddies.com. And because I like to be, myshreddies.com, and because I'm thorough with my research, a men's 5-pack is $145 US.
Really? I got news for them. I got a much easier scenario. You get a 10-foot pole, you hook a plastic tube to it, stick it up the poop chute, and hold the pole up 10 feet in the air.
You're contributing to global warming. Hang on.
The only thing that's gonna get affected are low-flying birds and the guy in the balloon.
Canadian is $209 for the men's 5-pack. Now, if you want something for your loved one, there's a women's 5-pack as well for $78 US or $54.25 Canadian. Now,
I don't think my wife has never farted.
Now hold on. There are some testimonials because if you're wondering if this works, there's some testimonials. Thank you for creating a product. Thank you for creating a product that changed my life. I can now work indoors. And from this is anonymous, and I guess I can understand why. I wish to thank you. This product changed my life. It doesn't matter what I eat. The gas is so bad, and the smell has driven my husband from our room at night. These underwear have given me back my life.
Stick around. There's more to come as we celebrate 300 episodes of totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Welcome back to a celebration of 300 episodes of totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn. Nick and Roy spoke to the Mayor of Niagara Falls, Canada, Jim Diodati. We learned a lot about one of the wonders of the world.
Can you wow us, Your Worship, with some information about Niagara Falls that I never read in any brochure?
Well, you know what? The one that I find people are most intrigued by, and I bring greetings to conferences all over the world. And of course, we do get 14 million people, so we have a few visitors that come to town.
Wow.
And one of the things that they're most intrigued by is the negative ions. I tell them Niagara Falls is home to the location with the greatest number of naturally occurring negative ions anywhere in the world. And negative ions happen where there's fast and free-flowing water. And of course, Niagara Falls has a little bit of water. In fact, there's enough water flowing over the falls to fill 17,000 bathtubs every second, and representing 20% of the world's freshwater, the greatest freshwater basin anywhere in the planet. There's a lot of moving water. And negative ions are actually positive in nature. They give you energy, vitality, healing, sense of well-being. And people will come from around the world. They'll stand at the base of the falls. They'll feel the mist at their face. They'll watch this full cresting rainbow, and the area is saturated negative ions. And they will sit there and deep breathe. Some people will do yoga. They'll do meditation. They take in the negative ions. And to see people come around from around the world, and they just use their hands in this motion where they're drawing in the negative ions. It's an incredible fact that some people know well, but most people have never heard of negative ions.
Yeah.
A gentleman who grew up in Niagara Falls is James Cameron. And obviously we know James Cameron for all the great movies. He was a part of Terminator, Avatar, Titanic, Alien. And he was just here recently. National Geographic called Niagara Falls the best place on the planet to watch the eclipse. So we had that this past year.
Of course, yeah.
And I was down there we had hundreds of thousands of people, and James Cameron was there. So we ended up going out for dinner afterward. And I asked him, I said, so what brings you to Niagara Falls? Because he's been in New Zealand lately making his latest movie. And he said, well, he goes, I'm not going to miss the biggest event on the planet in my hometown. So when we went out for dinner, a little bit of trivia, I told him in my basement, I've got the Terminator 2 pinball game. And he goes, oh, come on, the one with the gun handle? I said, yep, that's the one. And the one where Arnold's saying, I'll be back. So anyway, it was just a cool bit of trivia getting together with him. And he said, I would love to do something, a major project right here in Niagara Falls. He goes, I think there's huge opportunities because there are so many stories. Honestly, guys, we need more than a short show to talk about the crazy things that have, for Marilyn Monroe filming her movie in 1953, Niagara. And you just mentioned how we're the honeymoon capital of the world. And of course, we just had a Hallmark movie that was just made here, and with a completely unique plot that never has been told before.
Even in a Hallmark movie? Really?
How about this, Mayor? I got one, Mayor.
Yeah.
For James Cameron. So a stowaway on Maid of the Mist meets a wealthy girl. The Maid of the Mist heads towards the falls and begins to sink. A man screams, Rose, I built you a good ship.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you know what? I think you'd call it King of the World or something.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's so unique.
Here's a bizarre news story about a woman who had a pain in her nose for decades. Nick and Roy found out why.
For most of her life, hospital kitchen worker Mary McCarthy often had a pain on the right side of her nose. Her nasal problems deteriorated. The reason became obvious when a surgeon at a Christchurch hospital extracted a yellow tiddlywinks piece 37 years after it was lodged in her upper nose as a child.
What?
He grabbed a tiddlywink from her nose 37 years after she lodged it in there. Now, tiddlywinks is the game which was developed in England in the 1860s and it's played with small sets of small discs called winks.
Little tiddlies.
Yeah,
Little tiddlies.
Exactly. All right.
Yeah.
So McCarthy, who's now 45, was recovering, although still in pain and very nasal, was breathing through her right nostril for the first time in 8 months.
How big is a tiddlywinks piece?
Almost the size of a dime.
In her nose for 30-something years.
Yep.
She didn't realize there was a problem.
She remembered that while playing tiddlywinks as a kid, when she was 8 years old. So as a kid, she and her siblings were playing, and then she would stick them up their nose and then blow them out of their nose. One time, she accidentally inhaled one of them instead of blowing it out, and she was too scared to tell her mother, so she didn't.
So she hid it there.
She hid it in her nose. She remembered being...
She said nobody will know.
The tiddlywink that caused McCarthy's pain and breathing difficulties started to get lodged. After a COVID-19 nasal swab test, she was in pain for days afterwards.
There it goes.
Then developing serious sinus problems. Her nose was leaking constantly and in a lot of pain. She went to several general practitioners, and they put the pain down as a chronic sinus condition. They asked me, because it's a little uncomfortable as you're squirming in your seat, they asked me if I ever put anything up my nose, and I told them about the tiddlywink and sort of laughed it off. Well,
she knew it.
A CT scan revealed an object in her upper nose. And although it did not look like a tiddlywink, he removed it. And while she was awake, by the way, it was too big and they had to get in there and really dig it out, literally. She was looking forward to a life of easier breathing and a straighter nose.
So she has the tiddlywink up her nose.
Right.
She goes to the doctor, surgeon. I would assume, was he a famous doctor? Was his name like Dr. Nostradamus?
Yeah, he predicted that he knew what it was. He predicted it in advance. Dr. Nostradamus.
Before we go, you asked us to replay the pharmaceutical product that Nick and Roy invented, Farxiga.
For some reason, we think that everything that, there's a commercial on TV and they go, oh, gotta get Farxiga, and it's like, and we think that this came from space.
Right.
No, they use the same stuff that's on the earth here to make Farxiga.
Farxiga. Please consult your doctor before consuming Farxiga. Side effects.
I like it. It's a marketing genius.
It is. Farxiga. We recommend that you take please ask your doctor.
I could just see it now. Why not take it? What the fark?
Consult your doctor for further information.
Farxiga.
Some side. Even a jingle. So, check your doctor. Check with your doctor before consuming this product. Also, some side effects include more time on your hands because you have less of a social life.
They're all the same side effects every time.
I know, exactly.
Swollen, dizziness, blah, blah, blah. That could lead to death. It's like, what the hell is that?
And people are like, prancing in the fields or something. I mean, they're really, really happy, but can cause death.
Yeah,
wow.
And please don't take this while operating machinery, driving, or breathing.
Farxiga, available on Amazon.
Don't even ask your doctor. He seriously doesn't know what he's doing.
What you should do is ask your doctor and record his response.
Where the hell are we anyway?
We've just taken Farxiga, and these are one of the side effects.
Side effects is just blurting out stupidity.
Which we do every week on Totally Useless Information.
We're ODing on Farxiga right now.
We want to thank you for listening to our celebration of 300 episodes. Nick and Roy are all set to go for year number 6, which starts next week. I'm the voice lady, and on behalf of all of us here at Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy, thanks for listening. Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is recorded and produced in Canada. For more Totally Useless Information, visit nickandroy.com. That's nickandroy.com.